When we come up with a product or a school or an idea, we need to tell a story around to make it interesting and to make it consumable and entertaining. So we try to create a story, and then with pay-per-click and math and statistics, we try to make that work in an economic fashion where we spend $1 and we get more than that.
Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. Today we have Juan Martitegui. An Argentina native, Juan moved to Malaysia where he helped transform MindValley.com for 4 years. He then co-founded MindValley Hispano, now called Edutamia, one of the largest digital publishing houses in Latin America in personal development and self-help. With this idea in mind, he founded Virtualianet, which is the biggest teleworking school in the Hispanic market with more than 9,000 students and growing rapidly, where he and his team teach people how to find and perform jobs they love without going to traditional office or commuting. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, and I'll just add, because I've known you for, gosh, 9 years now, something like that?
Yeah, like 8 years.
8 or 9 years, yeah. The thing that we missed there is that you are, probably the most sophisticated and experienced kind of like ad and conversion guy that I know.
Thanks.
You've probably spent what, millions of dollars on ads over the years,
and those were our dollars, so they needed to come back. It's not like venture funded or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, right. Or agency dollars.
Yeah.
It's not customer dollars. It's like your real money.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So so tell me what you feel like your unique skill set is.
So I would say I'm a digital storyteller, and I do pay-per-click to get those stories out to a wider range of people.
So storyteller, you feel like not just digital, right? Like what do you mean by digital storyteller?
Basically, when we come up with a product or a school or an idea, we need to tell a story around to make it interesting and to make it consumable and entertaining. So we try to create a story, and then with pay-per-click and math and statistics, we try to make that work in an economic fashion where we spend $1 and we get more than that. Yeah.
Interesting though that you say that, like, the first thing out of your mouth is that I'm a storyteller. When my experience of you is the math part, is the spreadsheets and the math, and like you're like a numbers guy, but you feel like the storytelling is the heart of your kind of like.
Well, the math wouldn't work if you are not good at storytelling. You can do all the math you want, but if the offer is not there and the story is not there, then you will always see red on your math. Yeah.
Interesting. So where do you learn to tell stories?
So basically, I'm an accountant that did psychoanalysis and NLP and all these things for sales for a long time. And between those two things, I basically figure out a way to tell a story and measure the impact of that story. Right. So I would say psychoanalysis and NLP and philosophy in general gave me the introduction to storytelling. Yeah.
Interesting, because sort of that stuff's a lot about being able to see things through other people's perspectives. Yeah. Right? Tell me what's working now to grow your business. You got Virtualianet, you got 9,000 students, you just started that like, what, a year ago? Yeah, so it's cranking. Yeah. What is it that is working to grow that business so quickly?
So what's working is a webinar with Facebook advertising, like targeted in a pretty interesting way, but that's what's been working really, really well.
Interesting. So what is this interesting way that you're targeting?
So basically we have several webinars that we try to find a pain point in the audience, and we see that, probably if you are a pregnant woman or you have little kids, you are a lot more inclined to not want to commute or be able to manage your schedule. Right. So we do a webinar where we target that type of audience. If you are somebody that is retiring, but your pension is not going to be able to keep up or whatever, but you still need a few $1,000s, then we target that with another message and webinar. So basically we are running like 4 or 5 different offers to this type of publics and
But it's all the
audiences.
same offer.
But it's the same offer, but
4 or
the
5
story
different
we
stories.
tell is different.
Yeah, interesting. And so, wow, that is. Did you start off that way, or did you break it
No,
into?
no, we are starting to break it out a little bit more, and the more we find out about other niche markets, if they are big enough, we will develop like a new webinar, a new funnel for those people.
And what kind of like conversion rate increases do you see when you go from like kind of like the general target to a specific target, like women with small kids, for example?
So you will get like 30 to 50% conversion bump.
30 to 50%.
Yeah.
So that sounds worthwhile.
Yeah, it's a lot but but it's and also you get less even if the conversion rate is not that high, you get also the impact on the conversion rate is not that high. You also get less confused customers because they really know why they're there. They don't see the broad range of things that these could be applicable. They're there because they want to spend more time with their kid.
Period.
Or they're there because they want to make a side income.
Yeah.
So that makes also the consumption of the product and the motivations a lot clearer because the sales process just didn't tell you all the possibilities, just your possibility.
Right. So it sets people up. So you see that probably in retention.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's like a double whammy.
Correct.
So what is like your personal kind of cutting edge? What are you learning about right now?
So I'm crazy about AI.
AI.
Yeah. I feel, because when I look at what Facebook is doing, I've been doing advice for a long while. Probably I did my first ad campaign at, I don't know, I think it was April 2006 or 5. So it's a long while, and there's no way I can be better. Can I swear here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. There's no way I can be better than Facebook at buying advertising with all the algorithms and how they are manipulating the data and targeting things. And
like, there's no way that
I could be better than their algorithms are, and they AI. So I really want to understand what's going on behind what's beating me.
I got you.
And basically, AI and all the algorithms that Facebook has deployed into their advertising engine, it's beating the hell out of any marketer. So I want to understand at the base level what's going on there.
Yeah, who is this thing that's taking your job?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's still hard enough that we will, but I want to understand how it works.
Yeah. And do you imagine, can you like already see applications for that kind of technology in your business?
Yeah, basically right now we're letting the algorithm take over the campaigns.
The campaigns, but like in the rest of your business, or like where else is that? Do you see that
I still not knowledgeable enough to see all the applications, but I would feel that these type of technologies will allow us to build chat agents that will be very sophisticated in filtering people, and then we will have a human conversation, but we will use all these bots and all this information to kind of automate a part that is that adds value, but it could be faster with a bot or something like that. And then a human will take over. We're still pretty high touch in our conversion process. We really want to talk to people and have a normal conversation. But yeah, I think AI will get like very, very interesting in the next years.
It's going to be, it feels like this huge thing that's like almost there, but not quite yet. You know, you see it in really simple applications right now, or in data management applications, but not like interacting with humans quite yet. But like, you can see how it's going to have an impact like right around the corner maybe. Yes,
I think in 2 years, we will be surprised.
You think in 2 years you'll be having conversations with robots and not knowing it?
For particular applications, yeah.
That's a big step.
Yeah.
Interesting. 2 years.
Scary though.
Yeah, scary for your customer service reps. So, tell me about you know, from the perspective of like what you've learned over the course of now a career that's at least, you know, you said you're buying ad campaigns in 2005, so that's 12 years ago. Maybe it was before that. You know, if you could kind of like fly back and give yourself, your early self, a piece of advice about, you know, your business or your life, what would it be?
I would say take it a little bit easier. But probably, I think it's all about the team. At the end of the day, if you want to accomplish something big enough and worthwhile, it's all about a team. You cannot keep piling up skills on yourself. I love learning, but there gets to a point where you need a team that it can be a lot better than you in different areas.
Yeah, so invest earlier in like learning how to hire and manage people that are smart rather than just learning how to do everything yourself.
And me being a solopreneur, and we run a virtual company, so everyone works from home. Sometimes you tend to overinvest in your learning, and actually it's a lot easier to pay somebody and say, hey, do this, they will do it better. But if you're a curious mind, you want to learn, and sometimes it's not the best use of your time.
Yeah, exactly. So then thinking like moving forward in time and looking back, what do you imagine you'd like your legacy to be?
We are really going hard on this teleworking concept. I really wanted to, or would love to be the guy that opened kind of the teleworking and the distributed team idea to at least the Spanish market. We're still seeing like weird, when I look at my employees, the conversations they have with their parents or something like that. They think they're not working because they're
working at home.
Yeah, or from a co-working space. But today it's like our identities and our jobs are so tied to a place right now, and I don't feel that will be necessarily true down the line. With the communications getting a lot better. And I would love to be a guy that helped that transition.
Yeah, in particular the Latin American market. Do you think that the Latin American market is far behind? Because to me, in the North American market, I don't think that we're still having those conversations about like that it's weird to work from home. Are we still having those conversations? Like certainly not in co-working spaces. That's like normal, right?
No, that's normal. But you're still having policies in big companies where, you know, in Yahoo they got everyone back at home and at the headquarters, and still it's not the norm. And you see companies like you see companies like saying you can telework but not on Mondays or Fridays because we don't want you to have an extra long weekend. What do you turn into a Frankenstein, you know, on Mondays and I trust you on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday? So there's still some things that I think we can evolve. I still think human connection and being in the same place is very useful, but not necessarily 100% of the time.
Interesting. Do you have a space where you
we have an office. I have 2 kids also, so I wanted to have my own space. And I would say a quarter of my team, we meet weekly there, but then we work from home.
So everybody comes and goes.
Yeah.
So what do you think it means to be a modern entrepreneur? How have things changed, you know, in the last, say, decade from how entrepreneurship was in the past?
Well, I think you need to keep up with change a lot faster, and it will keep getting faster. So before there was being a modern entrepreneur, you could define it, and I think right now the only definition you could say is that you need to adapt to changes and new tools and new things. And yeah, I think it's just a matter of keeping up with change.
Yeah, and somebody like you who's you know, got a lot of things going and you move really quickly, how do you decide which, I mean, there's so many changes coming, right? There's a million things. How do you decide which new things to kind of like go after and which to pass on?
Normally I try to follow the money also. So if you look at where venture capitalists are investing or where you know, talent is going, it's also a very good predictor. And when you look at what software developers are doing and what artists are doing or where the good art is coming from, you start seeing a lot of, for example, artificial intelligence application in all those areas. So I try to see where all these smarter people than myself are putting their time and their money, and I try, if I see a lot of things going on, I try to go where those people are betting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Juan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Will you sign our wall?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.